Hello Year 4, this is today's science lesson. We are starting a new science topic, which is electricity. Later in the term you'll be getting a chance to actually make some circuits, get some cables out, some batteries, some light bulbs and things. But today's learning objective is to know what electricity is and where it comes from. So, first of all, quick warm-up task. How many things can you think of that use electricity? I'd like to give you 1 minute to write them down. So anything you can think of that uses electricity, you've got 1 minute. Pause the video here and go. Okay, so I wonder what you found. Now, in Saturn class, I can see lots of things that are powered by electricity. So just looking around, I can see an iPad, a laptop, a telephone, a screen for the computer, a clock which is battery powered. I can see electric lights. What else is there? There's a boiler under the sink, and I know that underneath my feet and in the walls there are lots of electrical cables. So really, sitting where I am, I'm surrounded by electricity. So things can be powered electrically in two different ways. Some things are battery powered, and some things are powered by mains electricity. So things which are battery powered are usually smaller items that you can hold in your hand. Okay, so these are examples of batteries. You'll see these a lot. This one's not so familiar. It is a small battery that would go in something really tiny like a watch or maybe a calculator. And this is a larger kind of battery which you'd see in a car. So cars, although they're run by petrol normally, although sometimes electricity, they also have a little battery in them that powers things like your car radio. Now, mains electricity is anything that gets plugged into the wall. So here's a typical mains electrical socket that you see in the home, and this is normally for things which are larger and need more electrical power. Okay, so think of there'll be some household items which require a lot more power, so you plug them into the mains electricity. So, quick task for you. Have a look at these pictures here, and I want you to think to yourself, is this something which is just battery powered, something which just uses mains electricity, or is it something that could use mains electricity or a battery? So I want you to pause the video here and have a think about which pictures would go where. And now that you've had a go at the task, I will go through the answers. So we've got here a microwave that takes a lot of power, that uses mains electricity. I've got a torch that uses batteries. I've got a computer which is mains electricity powered. I've got a television that's plugged into the mains. You don't get battery powered televisions, do you? I've got a clock. Now that could be battery powered or plugged in, I think, so I'll put that there. We've got some kind of video games, that would be mains electricity. A mobile phone, well, it has a battery in it. You can carry it around, but you charge it up by using mains electricity, so we'll put it here for both. A radio controlled car, I think that probably has battery powered, but you might charge those batteries using mains electricity. We've got some kind of device which would probably be charged up, so we'll put that there. It has a battery in it though. A little small radio, I think that looks like it's just battery powered. The electric guitar would be powered by mains electricity, and the vacuum cleaner would be mains electricity as well. So they all require lots more power. So, what is electricity? I'd like to pause the video here, and if you're with someone else, just have a think about what electricity is. Do you know anything about it, what it is? Okay, and you can unpause it here. Well, electricity is a form of energy, okay, a form of power. So, put really, really simply, electricity is a flow of electrons around a circuit. So, let's see something really basic here. We've got a light bulb here and a battery which powers it, and these lines here are the cables or the wires that carry the electricity. And pretty simply, it is a flow of these tiny, tiny things called electrons which flow round in a circuit from the battery through the lamp, through the light bulb and back. Okay, so you're probably thinking to yourself, what are electrons? Well, we have to go a bit deep here. Everything you see, everything you touch, even thin air, everything around us is made of atoms. You are made of billions and billions of atoms in your body. They're tiny, tiny things. They're too tiny to see. So even in the little full stop on a piece of paper, there'd probably be millions of atoms. So they're tiny, tiny objects. And they are made, they look something like this if you were to look very close up. They've got a nucleus in the middle. And on the outside, we've got these things whizzing around called electrons. Okay, when you use something electrical, electrons jump from one atom to the next and they flow round. So it's this flow of electrons through a circuit. For something electrical to work, you have to complete a circuit. You couldn't just have a battery attached to a lamp because there'd be nowhere for the electrons to flow afterwards. The electrons need to flow through the lamp and back to the battery, so they're constantly flowing around. Think of it like water going through pipes. Okay, and if you cut it anywhere, then it stops working. We'll do a lot more on that later on, though. Okay, so here's an example of electricity. Well, it wouldn't look like that, but electricity flowing through power cables to power your home. Now, my next question is, where does electricity come from? And here I want you to think more about mains electricity, the kind of electricity you get out of your plug, out of sockets in the wall. So pause the video here and talk to the person you're with about where electricity comes from. Okay, well, here's a little diagram which explains in a bit more detail. There's a video which I'll also post onto Class Story which gives you more details, but here's a simple diagram. Well, the journey of electricity starts at something called a power station. That is where they generate the electricity. Now, there are different ways to make electricity. Sometimes it's by burning something like coal or oil or gas, but sometimes it can be used by collecting wind power, okay? But in all of these cases, it's all about trying to make something spin around. So these power stations they'll usually burn something like coal to heat up water, and the water turns something called turbines. And basically, it's getting a magnet to spin around is a way of capturing electricity. So you get boiling water makes turbines spin around, that spins magnets, and that creates electricity. So it then goes from the power station through lots of cables, big chunky cables, because there's a lot of power coming out of them, to something called a transformer station. And that gives the electricity a boost because it's being sent around the country from the power station along these cables, along these things called pylons, which you'll have seen when you're out in the countryside. But so it doesn't lose power, a transformer boosts the electrical signal, the electrical power. Okay. As it gets to the town or the village or the city or wherever it's heading to, it gets to something called a substation. And a substation is something that just reduces the power of the electricity so it doesn't blow your house up. If you got the power straight from these cables here, then it would be too much, and you know things would burn up and break in your home. So the substation here and the transformer up on these towers here just reduces the power and makes it safe to enter your home. And then you get these cables. You'll probably have some entering your house overhead, or sometimes they're underground, and they enter your home and they power your devices. So your TV will be powered by electricity which comes all the way from here. Okay, and the important thing to know is that it needs to head back because we've got to complete that circuit. Remember, electricity always has to flow in a constant circuit. So it has to flow back to the power station for it to work. So think of the power station like a battery, and here will be the light bulb, which is the thing that's being powered by the electricity. Okay, so there are some other videos which explain that in a bit more detail. But today's task, we've got two tasks which you'll find in your assignment section. Task 1 is to insert the missing words in the text. So we've got some words down here which describe what electricity is. You have to decide where they go. So as a worksheet, if it's a worksheet, you can just type the words on there. If you're unable to do that, then you can copy this text out on a piece of paper and take a photo of your work. So that's task 1. That'll show you understand what electricity is. And for task 2, I'd like you to explain how power gets from the power station to your home. So we've got 5 stages here, from the power station to the home, and I'd like you just to, out on the worksheet, write in the boxes what is happening at each stage. So for example, here you could say the power station is where the electricity is generated by burning coal, for example. Okay, and then explain what goes on here, and here, and here, and here. Now, so these are some of the words you might need, but I've jumbled up the order just to make it a bit more challenging for you. Okay, so good luck with that. If you can't find it on the worksheet, you're welcome to draw your own diagram. That would look really nice on a piece of paper, and then take a photo of it. So good luck with the work, and send me a message if you find any of that tricky. Good luck. Bye-bye.